Greetings, I'm Amy Scamerhorn. My colleagues Jason Seaver, Erik Shaver, and I chose to create a master plan called Encouraging Parental Involvement in Schools using 21st Century Communication Methods. In today's presentation, we will present our rationale for exploring a new direction, guiding principles and goals behind our plan, the diversity, inclusion, and special populations affected by our plan, how the principles of this plan will be used in actual instruction, and give examples of this plan in action, our assessment plan, and our special wishes. Here is our rationale for exploring a new direction regarding communication with parents. First and foremost, parental involvement in a child's education is key to his or her success in school. Dodd and Konzel argued that parent involvement is a better predictor of student success than more commonly used indicators such as family income or education level. A major benefit of parental involvement is enhancing school programs and creating a positive school climate. According to Hargreaves, parents are often one of a teacher's most underused resources. Parents can provide support, knowledge, time, and assistance when they are encouraged to become active in a school. Schools especially need to keep more parents involved at the middle and high school levels because parental involvement tends to drop off significantly after the elementary school years. This decline is partly due to parents' fears that they cannot help effectively with more challenging school subjects. Indiana University of Pennsylvania Assistant Professor of Mathematics Edel Riley had the following to say about the importance of parental involvement at the middle school level. While parental involvement is important at every grade level, it is critical at the middle level because parents of young adolescents have a tendency to become less actively involved in their children's education. Since the beginning of formal schooling, there has always been some form of collaboration between the home and the school. As Tutwiler noted in 2005, parent involvement in education has changed over time, from parents as primary educators to parents as responsible for choosing adults to educate their children. This shifting relationship means today's parents need to become students of the current educational system. Basic communication methods are often the only one-way communication from schools to parents that ask parents to become more involved in their children's education. These include communications such as automated phone calls, permission slips, newsletters sent via U.S. mail or carried home by the students. Basic communication also includes some traditional face-to-face meetings, including back-to-school nights, parent-teacher conferences, PTA activities, and other communications where teachers and parents meet together, usually within the school setting, to collaborate. While these traditional forms of homeschool partnerships, for example, parents participating in class activities and teachers sending home the children's work, are associated with positive results, they are very limited in their ability to reach all families in an effective manner. Additionally, the terms of the homeschool relationship are often defined by the school, with parents' and children's views given little weight, and one-way communication from the school to the home is often the norm. Regrettably, most school communication with parents takes place only when something is going wrong, such as homework not being completed, a student misbehaving in class, or a student earning a poor test score. Riley quoted a 2005 publication by McEwen which stated, "Parents crave communication, real communication that specifically describes how their child is doing, tells them what is going on at school, and gives them practical and reasonable ways they can help their children at home. Thus, it is important for teachers to be in contact with parents to praise student successes, in addition to seeking help when things are not going well." Many parents want to learn more about what their children are doing in school, but many of these traditional one-way communication methods do not make it into the hands of parents for various reasons, such as a change of address, or kids forget to give parents papers actually getting thrown away, disconnected phones, or a change of a phone number. So just as our schools have turned to 21st century technology to educate our children, schools also need to use these tools to help increase parental involvement as society becomes more and more connected via digital communication tools. The time has come where we have more tools than ever, specifically technology tools, to make these valuable connections with parents. Lewin and Levin found in a recent study that from the perspective of parents, in a recent survey, 82% indicated that they would still like to be better informed about their children's education despite the initiatives to date. Grant stated that parents often report hearing very little from children about what happens in school and that they would welcome the use of digital technologies such as email and text messaging to communicate with the school. Digital communication avenues can increase parent-teacher partnership building while reducing one-way communication practices that often represent a power imbalance that favors the school or the teacher. Newer two-way technologies such as email and content management systems, also known as CMS, are becoming more frequently used as digital communication increases in popularity. Two-way communication approaches invite parents to participate in their child's learning process, thus creating an ongoing dialogue between home and the school. Digital communication saves time. CMS communication tools tackle in 2 minutes the tasks that once took hours or even days to complete from the schools. Now that I have explained the rationale behind our master plan, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Erik Shaver, where he will review the guiding principles and goals of our plan. Erik?
Now that Amy has finished with our introduction, I'd like to go ahead and transition to our guiding principles for our master plan. As we've noted, technology is becoming more affordable and thus more prevalent in both school classrooms and in homes. Every 14 months, the power of the processing of the microchip doubles. When that happens, it becomes much easier to not only produce, but also transport new computers. In fact, computers that used to be $3,000 20 years ago are going for $200 and $300 today. There's actually something out now called the BlackBerry Pi. That's a $10 computer about that big that can actually run an entire operating system. As stuff gets more cheap, as stuff gets more affordable, as companies continue to produce these items, more teachers in schools and students and parents at home are going to have access to these technologies. So thus the simple fact that it's getting more prevalent is the reason why we decided to make our master plan surrounding opening up multiple digital communicative pathways. Thus with the technology use, more pathways. That being said, family involvement is the absolute key to getting children educated through school. As we've noted, a ton of research has stated that parental involvement is absolutely crucial in this stage. If parents are involved in the school system, not only will they become more involved in their student studies, but they'll also develop partnerships and bonds with their students, teachers, and the school system they are in. By doing so, kids are going to be more motivated, kids are going to achieve higher scholastically. That being said, Sanchez, Walsh, and Rose have stated that parenting support strategies that encourage learning at home are especially helpful to promote learning in the classroom, as I just previously stated. They also went on to say that if parents want to go and discover new information about their children's school day, ways to support the child's education at home, and ways to become more involved at school, they will actively seek it out to become a part of their child's education. Therefore, these digital communication pathways are going to provide information to these parents who are searching for it. Now, educational technology, commercial technologies, free-to-use software, social media, and distance learning and webcams can all contribute to the education of these families. Thus, our master plan. We will all, three of us, myself, Mr. Seaver, and Ms. Scamerhorn, will talk about these different technologies and how they are able to open up these digital communicative pathways. Now, research conducted by Hudson has shown that 75% of teachers use technology regularly in their classrooms. Hudson also knows that 86% of students go home and use even more technology than the teachers used. If the students have the access to this technology, parents will have access to this technology, and if the students show the parents how to use it, that's another route that they can communicate with teachers and school systems from home, bridging that gap between school and home. Now, that isn't the case with everyone. As Hollingsworth, Marisay, Allen, and Rose stated, not every family will have access to these technologies. These researchers noted that working class parents are parents of low SES, at the lower end of the access rainbow, who do not have PCs or internet at home, stood out as experiencing specific difficulties, particularly in relation to their children's schoolwork, let alone opportunities for family learning. This is a very real problem. However, the government businesses, and many school districts have found ways around these issues, as Ms. Scamerhorn will talk about later. That being said, I'd like to sum up what our guiding principle is. Thus, our guiding principle is by utilizing globally available technology for both scholastic and family use, teachers can bridge the gap between home and classroom to both support student learning at home and inform parents about the inner goings of the teacher's curriculum and teaching, while finding alternative outlets to allow those families without internet connectivity at home to have an equal level of classroom connectedness as their wired peers. That being said, I'd like to transition to our 6-point plan. Our master plan has 6 main points to utilize 21st century digital communicative pathways for teachers and parents and schools. First, we're going to bridge the gap between the classroom and home using free technologies, free softwares, and alternative technologies for families without internet access. 2, we're going to inform parents of the current curriculum within classrooms while providing additional scaffolding skills and activities to support student learning at home. 3, create and foster a proactive, positive community between teachers, parents, and students. 4, utilize technology to capture, record, and archive lessons and assignments for students and families to access if absent or in need of additional instruction. 5, utilize technology to allow for parents, students, and teachers to engage in real discourse concerning curriculum and learning. And 6, integrate existing school programs that encourage parental involvement into the digital cloud for increased discourse and archival of ideas. That being said, I'd like to transition now to the main body of our plan.
Some of the issues, concerns, and challenges that we have with 21st century technology and parents is that some parents are technophobes. Getting parents, especially older parents or grandparents who are raising children, to accept new methods of communication instead of the traditional paper communications or phone calls. However, once families see the benefit of being connected by communication via technology, challenges tend to be resolved quickly. Parents' lack of computer skills and technological confidence was also perceived to be a barrier, as were technical issues such as the losing of passwords and certain language barriers. School staff could address these issues and build parent confidence through training and courses, but of course this relies on the willingness of parents to physically participate. Studies show that parents from diverse cultural and linguistic backgrounds may view interactions with education professionals as challenging, possibly stemming from differences in deeply held cultural beliefs and behaviors. When communicating with parents of different ethnic and racial backgrounds, teachers must carefully consider their language usage. In addition, great care and consideration must be used when communicating via email or other types of digital messaging, as it is difficult enough to convey tone with native English speakers via these avenues, let alone with people from diverse cultural backgrounds who may not have such a handle on the English language. However, there are many opportunities that are available through the use of digital communication with parents. Digital technologies may make it possible to make visible the knowledge and skills and different models of learning that children develop outside school as a first step toward building connections from home learning to school. In a recent UK study, parents and children used a school-provided tablet to complete and review homework assignments. The school and home communication devices allowed for parents to review what the child had done with the tablet at school, review what they had done in total, such as inside and outside the school. In a recent UK study, parents and children used a school-provided tablet to complete and review homework assignments. School-to-home communication devices allowed parents to review what the child had done with the tablet at school, as well as review what the child had done in total. Additionally, parents were able to see the activities set for homework, access curriculum-relevant fun activities, and send or receive a message to the teacher. Each activity page also contained a special Grown-ups button. When this was selected to view a particular activity, information about it and its purpose, along with suggestions for how to help, were provided. There are so many possible ways of making contact via digital communication methods. So let's take a closer look at how some of these ways look through the eyes of someone who fully integrates 21st century technology, not only into his teaching repertoire, but also through his communication with parents. Jason?
Hi, I'm going to talk to you today about environments and collaboration. Students today have access to more and more technology, as Erik has already stated. There are a number of Web 2.0 tools that can be used for free with parents and students to increase communication and extend the learning environment beyond the classroom walls. Some of these include Google Talk, Twitter, Facebook, and My Big Campus. I'm going to talk specifically about Twitter and My Big Campus today. Twitter is a great resource to communicate with parents. It's brief and to the point. You can only use 140 characters, and there are over 41 million users of this service around the world. The key demographic for Twitter is the same age as most of the parents of our students. So you can see that that would be a great tool to use, and it's public so that there aren't any issues with he said, she said type of thing. Also can be used to communicate with students as a check-in and exit slip, homework assignments, and as well as professional development. It's been said that Twitter is what teachers' lounges should be. I use Twitter to communicate with parents and students, and also more specifically to professional development. I have quite a large professional learning network through Twitter. The use of My Big Campus has extended the learning environment beyond the classroom day and the walls of the school, because students can access My Big Campus at home. It's a secure site that is monitored on 6 different levels. It's basically used as a Facebook type page where you can post assignments and bundles, and you can also distribute information that way. The nice thing about My Big Campus is that it has a parent portal now where parents can see what their students are doing during the day. They can access it at any time, and it's a free tool, as well as having free apps. Most people have a smartphone, and especially students, and they can use the apps for Twitter and My Big Campus, which are free to access and do homework assignments. My Big Campus also allows for parents to have some communication as well, because having that parent portal, they can communicate with the teachers as well. And there's also a school webpage that is available to go through My Big Campus. Even in classrooms that do not have technology available, there are ways to use the 2.0 tools to the advantage of the student and the teacher, as with this Twitter board. According to Lenhart et al., 73% of wired American teens now use social networking sites. Just over half, 55%, were using social networking sites in November of 2006, and 65% did so in February of 2008. So you can see that there's a gradual increase in the users of social networking sites, which makes the opportunities using Web 2.0 tools that much more important.
Now that Mr. Seaver has finished his discussion of social media and students with special needs, I'd like to transition to my area of our master plan, which is the improvement and fostering of distance learning and all the other things that come to distance learning to encourage not only student learning, but also parent involvement in the classroom. Now, creating digital communicative pathways with parents will foster and encourage a sense of community within the teacher's classroom. That's been the common theme throughout this entire plan. I just want to reiterate that. Now, Alvarez noted that if teachers use technology to connect with parents at home, and said parents have a direct link to their child's school instruction, these parents will be actively engaged in their child's education, and that parents like the idea of going online and watching the videos for themselves. If their child is struggling with the assignment or the materials, the parents could watch the video and learn alongside the child, or offering support along the way. My Big Campus, YouTube, Twitter, all of these technologies we talked about or will talk about are able to do that. The idea of a flipped classroom, the idea of using the supportive technologies to allow parents to learn with and support the learning of their children are absolutely crucial. And they do so at home, which is a distance learning away from the classroom. Now, the big idea that I have, that I'd like to propose, would be to use webcams to record lessons for archival and review by students and parents outside of school hours. This will also contribute to not only the online learning but distance learning. Now, there are numerous advantages to doing this, to putting up a webcam in some corner of the classroom or on a teacher's desk. First and foremost, use of webcams in distance learning allows for additional help for children with not only with disabilities but for those who need it. Pettit, Midden, Doubt, and Hess noted that the distance learning allows for teachers to have more technological support for children and for parents to become co-educators, as these parents have educational materials, assistive technology devices, communication avenues with their children of special needs to complement the existing educational technology. This is forming a partnership right away with individuals who know more about a student with special needs than the teacher does. Why not utilize it? Additionally, child psychologists and school psychologists are using webcams for patient therapy as well. Chabowski and Fremont noted that the incorporation of the webcam into patient care and therapy has been useful in child psychiatric care. Giving children a personal medium to open up to themselves or their family over distance, allaying many societal pressures that they feel that's during the treatment with individuals that they may harbor secrets from or towards. Use of distance learning can be used for effective guidance during student teaching as well as for future educators. Israel, Knowlton, Griswold, and Rowland noted in their study of teaching programs that used real-time video streamed over the internet via webcam of student teachers to their mentors that the use of webcam and real-time interaction allows for learning by providing the capability to be observed and interact spontaneously, but without obstruction for K-12 classrooms, community agencies, and other relevant educational settings, while also improving the efficiency of teacher preparation and professional development by circumventing the barriers of time, distance, cost, and obstruction. By filming these videos and putting them online, we are also circumventing time, cost, and obstructions. The same webcam technology can mediate collaborative discussion and lesson delivery with members of the community. Parents may view their children as they are learning at the same time the kids are learning it, or support it when they get home. There is an issue with this format of virtual communication, however, as there is with any sort of new technology. Velstos and Velstos wrote that teachers need to be aware of the problems distance learning can cause, including issues involving privacy, intellectual property violations, data security, and violations of the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. By gaining consent, much like Mr. Seaver has of his students, uploading the data to protected websites, and not spreading the recordings to the general internet, this will be extremely beneficial for parents and students alike. If parents do not have access to the internet, teachers can create DVD newsletters, alternative technologies, as we mentioned earlier, with archives of past lessons that students may take home and advocate, as advocated by Sanchez, Walsh, and Rose. This will take a little bit more time on the parents, on the teacher's part, but if there is a parent at home that has the additional know-how to burn DVDs, they can become an immediate ally for not only the teacher but the classroom to send these DVDs out to those families that really need it. Thus, in short, as Anastasia, Vitali, and Gretzkis found in their study of parents of distance learning students, most parents applauded the idea of having their children educated in new ways of teaching over the internet, using webcams, video conferencing, and virtual learning environments. We must embrace these technologies and use them to continue building bridges and fostering community with parents. If we can do so with a $10 webcam and a free hosting online at My Big Campus or some other social media spot, what's stopping us from doing it? Now that you've heard our entire master plan, it's time to come up with a thorough assessment plan that will be able to not only evaluate if our master plan is successful, but to improve it as we go along. First and foremost, as with any sort of master plan or any new idea, we need to create a year-long professional development series for teacher educators about 21st century digital communicative pathways. Once this year-long professional development has been completed, we need to have this plan peer-reviewed by either a local university partnership or an established community school system that uses digital communicative pathways already, to make sure if there are any flaws or if they have any suggestions that they could put towards refining and making the plan better. Then we need to train teacher leaders to lead the aforementioned professional development and implement it over the course of the 2013-2014 school year. At the start of this year, we need to include in the children's begin the year paperwork for the 2014 and 2015 school year, a parental survey gauging student at-home technologies available, parent tech knowledge, parent perception of teacher-family collaboration, and the views of the list of technologies being implemented. What do parents think of Twitter? What do parents think of LinkedIn? What do parents think of all the technologies that we've mentioned previously? Once that's done, we are going to schedule monthly open forum parent meetings where families can voice their opinion either for, against, or ideas that they wish to incorporate into the professional development and plan. They can offer different avenues to communicative success between parents and schools as well, or they can go ahead and put their input of what they've noticed as being effective, what's ineffective. Long story short, we want the parents involved, their voices known. And we're going to do that every month to make sure that every parent has as much opportunity as possible to come in and state their mind. Once that's done, we're going to conduct both mid and final year surveys to track the change in parent attitudes towards the different digital communicative pathways. What worked, what didn't, what do parents want to see more of, what do parents want to see less of, what other ideas can we come up with. Once that's done, we're going to provide all the data we've collected to not only our local university partnerships and the effective school systems that proofed our PD plan, but to every teacher and parent within the school system that wishes to review it. We want to be open as possible to let them know that we are 150% into improving our communicative pathways between home and school. By showing that they are a relevant partner in this, it will only increase their support for it. Once we've done and collected all that data, we're going to make any and all suggested changes that were made by our partnerships during the summer between the 2015 and 2016 academic year. And once that's finished, we're going to repeat the entire process yearly until all families in our school system are happy with it. That's our assessment plan, and we feel like it's a good solid one.
Thank you very much for viewing our presentation on parental involvement in 21st century technology tools. I'm Amy Scamerhorn, and you can follow me at Amy Scamerhorn on Twitter.
And just to prove that we are expanding using these digital communication tools, we're actually posting this presentation not only to the on-course board, but to our Twitters, to My Big Campus, and some of the other places that we talked about. In fact, if you want to check mine out, I'm at Twitter at Erik Shaver.
And mine is at Jason Seaver 1975.
Hope you enjoyed it. You stay classy, E590.